Hello everybody, this is Ollie-FA here, and today we are back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to some horror animations. Now, before the video starts, I would like to say that 86% of you who watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel. So let's take that number down. Let's get the subscribers up. If you're watching this, drop a subscribe, drop a like or whatnot. But anyway, let's get straight into the video. Right, here we are with the first video of the day, called Inhuman Entity, which that sounds rather fun, doesn't it? So let's get straight into it.
A cool breeze crept through the valley outside of Telluride, Colorado, as my friends and I unloaded the truck parked on the dirt driveway. We had recently started renting an old mining house built in the early 1900s. Most of the home had been renovated over the years, but there were still glimpses of what the house used to be. The exterior of the home was painted a bright yellow and adorned a blood-red door. The yard was abundant, with lush green grass, minus the few brown patches that littered the ground. In the corner of the yard sat a dilapidated gazebo filled to the brim with landscaping equipment.
That looks nice.
I stood facing the house, admiring the quaint ambiance it seemed to exude. I felt something hit my back and spun around. My brother, William, was standing behind me with a box under his right arm. "Let's pick up the pace, we don't have all day," he said, with a little annoyance masked in his voice. Yeah, I responded, and started walking to the back of the truck. My other two friends, Elijah and Leon, were in the process of stacking some boxes on a dolly. "Hey man, take this to my room," Elijah said as he handed me a large box. I resituated it in my arms and gripped it. As I did so, I could hear glass clanging inside and a strong, familiar odor starting to leak out. "Hey man, be careful," Elijah snapped. "If you ever want to smoke again, I'd highly advise you to take it one step at a time there, champ." "Maybe if you didn't throw everything into one single box without bubble wrap, then you wouldn't have an issue of something breaking, Elijah," Leon responded. Elijah's eyes widened, as if he had just figured out the secrets of the universe. I laughed, turned around, and proceeded into the house. The floorboards creaked as I stepped onto the warped living room floor. I surveyed my surroundings of the old rustic home as I headed to Elijah's bedroom. Only 2 interior rooms had been renovated in the entire house, one being the kitchen, which had marble countertops and new appliances, the other being my room. I was the one who found the home on the market, so respectively I had first choice of which room I wanted to claim as my own. The other rooms, on the other hand, were still the same as they had been since the early 1900s, with dreary wooden floorboards and old chipping paint. "Dude, what the hell?" William yelled from upstairs. I quickly climbed the narrow stairway to find my brother in his room. I walked in to find what looked like to be a large lump underneath the wooden floorboards. It almost looked like Andre the Giant was buried in the middle of the room.
That might be an issue.
"I told you it was an old home, Will. Things shift over time," I said, trying to hold my snickering back. "Yeah, I get that, but you didn't say that I'd have to maneuver around a speed bump," he snapped back. I took a deep sigh and turned to him. "Okay, look man, we're only going to be here for a year. You've got plenty of room to put your bed so you're not sleeping on an incline." William turned back to the floor dejected. "That's easy for you to say. You're not staying on the cover of Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones." After we had moved everything into the house, we all plopped down on the couch, beers in hand, and began our well-deserved...
Hold on. No, I'm not going to take this disrespect to the Rolling Stones. That's not good. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
R&R. Elijah had already begun smoking, and the room started to fill with the pungent odor. "So are we going to be doing some ghost hunting tonight, boys?" Elijah said as he passed the joint to Leon. Oh, come on, you don't actually believe that crap, do you? Leon responded as he was rolling his eyes. The guy blew his brains out on the front porch in the 1930s. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a ghost floating through the halls. I mean, how do you think we got such a killer deal on rent? William said as he lifted his arms and started mimicking the sounds of a specter. Shut up. It's all nonsense. You've just been watching too much Ghost Hunters, I responded. But anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. We need to get up early to do some cleaning. Good night, guys. I stood up and meandered to my room. In all reality, I was a little perturbed by what happened at this house. I've always been quite agnostic to my beliefs of ghosts or spirits, but I've never witnessed anything myself. The rent was super cheap for an entire house, and I wanted to save some money for a trip outside of the country. I pushed the fact that someone had ended their life to the back of my mind. I wish things would have turned out much differently. I entered my room and slid under my sheets and basked in the warmth of my bed. It had been a long day and my body ached from moving. I grabbed my phone and looked for a rain and thunder YouTube video to help me sleep, and after about 15 minutes, I crept into comfortable darkness. My eyes shot open in the middle of the night. The moonlight shone through my window and enveloped my room in comforting light. I could hear creaking from the house as the wind howled outside. I tried to sit up, but found my efforts futile. Sleep paralysis was a regular occurrence in my life. It happened at least once a month due to stress and a little help from my antidepressants. At this point, I'd almost gotten used to it. I could hear what sounded like a light scratching noise coming from inside my room, and prepared myself for the usual dark figure to be standing in the corner. My eyes darted from left to right, trying to decipher where the noise was coming from. It was then I started to hear skittering, like someone or something was moving around. A cold feeling crept over my body as I started sweating profusely, my sheets becoming soaked. The skittering stopped, but was replaced by cracking, one that resembled that of broken bone. Out of my peripheral vision, I could see long, needle-like limbs protruding from my closet. They each moved slowly, tapping the wall as if they were looking for something. I then saw a large, bulbous black mass starting to show itself from the closet door. It was coated in tiny hairs and twitched almost habitually. A loud moan echoed throughout my room as the creature finally presented itself. A spider-like entity was situated on my wall. The reason I say spider-like was because its head had been replaced with that of a human one. Its eyes were blacked out from the shadows of moonlight, and its lower jaw was removed, revealing a blotchy tongue that oozed saliva. It was about the size of a twin bed and stared at me for what seemed like hours. My heart was racing. I was begging my body to move, but to no avail. I was stuck there, in suspended torment. I tried screaming, but I was unable to make a sound. All I could do was watch the creature on my wall as it grew closer. Suddenly, it skittered to the ceiling right above me and started scratching with its two front legs, almost like it was burrowing. It then started to sink into the wall, as if the wall had turned into quicksand. First, the abdomen, then the legs. Eventually, all that was left was its mangled head staring straight at me. Those cold, dead eyes boring into my soul. I could hear it moaning, and I could feel the drips of saliva hit my torso. The creature then let out an inhuman roar and vanished into my ceiling. My body was finally released, and I jolted out of my bed screaming. As I did, The house erupted into more terrified outcries coming from upstairs.
What?
Apparently,
Oh,
I
what?
wasn't the only one who saw something. And,
Oh, great.
unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last time either.
Oh, that was it. Good. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. Oh, that gave me the shivers. Don't like spiders whatsoever, so that was easily the worst thing that could have happened there. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway. We're getting to one more. And that'll be it. Anyway, that'll be it. Let's get straight into the next one. I just wanted to say big old shout out to Llama Arts. These are the guys who make these animations. Easy subscribe there. Very, very, very talented people. Yeah, they're amazing. Really. Give these two channels some love as well if you understand Hindi or Russian. Yeah, right. Let's get into the next one. Okay, here we are. Final video. It is called The Horn-Headed Man. Without any further ado, let's just get straight into it.
Moonlight peered through my window as I jolted awake. My clamorous breaths disturbed the silence of my dark room. I had just come out of a frightful dream that had me thinking it was all too real. With sweat on my brow, I sat up and grabbed my water from the nightstand and took a sip from the now warmed glass. My hands shook as I recounted my nightmare of the horn-headed man. In my dream, I was walking through my neighborhood, the streetlights flickering as I made my way down the uninhabited sidewalk.
It's quite normal.
Nothing threatening, just a walk through the midnight hours.
Exactly.
A block down, I could see a figure in the distance, walking slowly towards me. His steps seemed mismatched and labored. He passed a few houses looking straight ahead, neither looking left nor right. His head was fixed on the sidewalk in front of him. As I was getting closer to my home, I could see him slowly starting to embark on my territory.
Ooh, that's
I quickly rushed to my front door and hurried inside. Through my window, I could see him walk past my property. I was thinking to myself, oh God, please have him keep going, please. He was just about to walk all the way past my front yard.
He's gonna
when
stop.
He stopped.
Yep.
His body almost shifted abnormally as he turned to face my home. He just stood there, looking, not moving, just standing there.
That's a lot more threatening.
The man bore the horned
angle.
head of a skeletal goat. His body was pale and looked fragile, and his fingers were thin and bony. I thought to myself, what does he want? Slowly, he started lifting a quivering arm and pointed right at me. I started to backpedal into the darkness of my house, when all of a sudden he let out an inhuman screech. That's when I woke up. Too frightened to go back to bed, I turned on the television and saw that the local news for early risers was on.
Good news for early risers.
My stomach dropped, and my body suddenly turned cold as I listened to the current news report.
That's called bicep.
The news anchor on the television said, Breaking news. A woman who lived on Columbia Avenue has been murdered. Local officials say that they received an anonymous phone call from the victim's home. We arrived at the house at around 12:20, and we saw the victim inside and a card which rested next to her. The sheriff held up the card.
Ooh.
On the back of it, I could see the image of the horn-headed man. The officer started to read. One down. Slowly I go.
It's 4:20.
He then lifted his head back up. His blood started trickling from his eyes and mouth. I sat there shaking, and I couldn't breathe. Columbia's just 3 blocks away from me. I jumped out of my bed and ran to my window. Something within me made me want to look outside. That's when I saw him. He just stood there, looking, not moving. just looking. The horn-headed man, his body pale and fragile, and his fingers thin and bony.
Okay, that's not a nice one. I don't know, make of that what you will. I'm not entirely sure, because it seems all a bit far-fetched in a way. Sure, you know, I definitely believe that you can have dreams about something, then without really any input of yours they can come real, because they technically weren't dreams but visions, but whatever. Yeah, I think it's a little bit far-fetched with him just randomly looking up after reading the card and the blood coming out, but whatever. I think it's, yeah, no, there's not much more to say. Believe it if you want, I guess. Personally, myself, I'm not going to, because it's I'm not. I think it's just a bit too much in a way. But yeah, that's really gonna be it for this episode. So there we go. That was it. A horned man and a paranormal house full of weird Spider-Men. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, because if you did, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single video that I upload. Every Sunday, 12 PM-ish. Hopefully, I'll see all of you there next week for a Minecraft Let's Play video. But anyway, I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye bye.